You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in the palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You showed me how to spread my wings.
Hello, how are you, everybody? Nice to see you. Well, I'm looking at a camera, but nice to see you nonetheless. Coffee Chat, January 18th. Can you believe we are already 18 days into a brand new year? Time flies by, does it not? Holy mackerel. And I've had a busy, very eventful, exhausting week, I find, and an emotionally draining week. I was just reflecting and writing some notes and going through some stuff this morning and wondering, like, why are you so tired? I have a good sleep, things, I'm good there. And it's like, why do you just feel so darn tired every day? And it's emotions. Like when you are emotionally drained or tired, it just sometimes it can be more exhausting than physical, I find, for me, because it's your mind, and your mind works your body, and it works everything about you, and you can't get away from it because it's your mind. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this coffee chat. It's kind of cool that I just literally took the topic this morning. I was wondering, what are we going to talk about? And because of not just what I'm going through, it's not a garbage day like that, but because of what's on my mind and things that I'm feeling, this ties in really well. I was listening to one of my mentors, and it's about how to rise above tough times, right? Because we all have tough times. You're not immune to it. Sorry. And you can probably attest to that, right? So for anybody that doesn't know me, I am Julie Townsend, and I run Quantum Connections Incorporated, and I am the gal from Quantum Academy, which if you are a part of the Academy, I have been kind of absent because some of you are involved with me in a 21-day manifesting challenge. And that's what I have been doing. I haven't forgotten about you, but there's plenty in the Academy to keep you busy until we get back. But the manifesting challenge has been consuming my time, and I wanted it to start off my new year. And it's so good. I love Gabby. I love her. But that's not who I have taken kind of some notes from today. One of my other mentors give a speech on 5 ways to rise above some tough times. And I thought, how appropriate is it to talk about this during coffee chat? So he mainly touched on one of the 6 higher faculties that I teach about. And the main faculty is in this chat is perspective. That's how you can rise above tough times, right? So at the very top, number 1 of 5 is perspective itself. When you change your perspective, it changes your view. So when you're going through some crap, you can just say, how could this be worse? And I know it sounds like, oh my God, if you're going through crap, why do you want it to be worse? No, you don't want it to be worse, but it changes your perspective when you think, how could this be worse? Is anybody dying right now? Am I dying? Just change your mindset to think, is it really that bad? Think of the big picture. Think of really, really, really who you are. I'm not trying to diminish, but really, is the problem that big. It's a way of asking yourself, am I making a mountain out of a molehill, or is this something that I really need to take serious, right? So perspective itself, you really think about it, you remind yourself we live in this tiny little planet and we're in a massive galaxy of trillions of other entities. Are our problems really, really that big? Number two, he said to look at hard times as growth spurts. I love this one because I love Steve Jobs' quote is you can't connect the dots going forward, you can only connect them going backwards. This is so true in that growth spurts happen when you're in the valleys of life, right? You learn something, you grow from it. So, painful lessons. I know I've gone through many painful lessons, just as you have probably gone through some really hard times in your life. But when you think about them and when you look back, do you not see the good now? Do you not see the good? Because for bad, there's always good. We go through these tough times, and the gift is to grow from them. We steer through them and we look back and we likely see all the tidbits of it. It's just as important to know what you don't want, right? As it is to know what you do want. And then we can use our present circumstance, what we're going through, and we can leverage that into growing. Like if you're going through a hard time right now, just say, how can I grow from this? And if you ask the question, the answer is always there, right? It might be to shatter our ego, because usually that's what gets in the way is our ego. We get too big and fluffy and all of a sudden we think we're in control. We're not in control. And then we get a lesson and then our ego gets shattered. That's a good thing. It's like cracking that egg open and then we can receive. When we crack our ego open, we can receive. When we have our ego shielding us and think, we're in control and we're protecting ourselves, it's hard to penetrate that. Number three, feel it to heal it. I love this one too. I've learned this one the hard way. Very important. Don't ignore it. I like to say plunging is poison. We're all guilty of that. We take something that's hard for us and we're going to table it. We'll do it with another day because right now I got to be all this, right? Here I am. Well, that is heavy danger because if you plunge it and you forget about it and it lays in there, it goes in what this mentor calls the hurt well. Okay. So all the pains of life, disappointment and rejection, jealousy, sadness, demoralization, life stuff we've gone through. Maybe divorces or bad relationships or bad jobs. Maybe you were treated really poorly in school or even on a job. Maybe the boss was a big bully and picked on you. Who knows? But maybe you didn't feel it. You didn't take the opportunity to get freaking angry on paper because that's the best way to do it. It's not angry. It's not recommended to get angry at another person because you know what? Then this great law of cause and effect is just going to come back to you. And it's like going back and forth, back and forth. If you want to get rid of some of that pent up anger and scream at the top of the mountaintops, get it on paper. Let them have it on paper. Tell them what you think on paper and get it out of you. And then go burn it safely. Go burn that piece of paper. But my gosh, you will feel so much better releasing. So feel through the pain. Think of a little kid. Think of little kids. There's no hiding their feelings. You hurt a little kid's feeling. First of all, you see it right on their face. They'll just, like, you hurt me. They might downright just cry. They might get really angry and just say, you don't treat me like that. But they feel it right now. They go through that pain right away. And that's gone. It's like, hey, you want to go play basketball with me? You want to go ride bikes with me? That's the way to roll. If a person could just do that. We just learn to have so much control. We think we have to have so much control over our feelings and we have to be a certain way. And we're, ah, you know, it's so much better to be vulnerable and wear your heart on your sleeve. Don't you love those people that literally wear their heart on their sleeve? And if they get hurt by that, it seems to roll off them. They hurt. Of course, it hurts them, but they don't clam up and get this. You're not going to hurt me next time. No, they just go on to seek the next person that they can serve and help. You just admire people like that. So, anyway, the best way out of a toxic feeling, number 3, was just go straight into it. Dive right into the deep end. Feel it. You want to cry? Cry. You want to scream? Scream. But go through that feeling to release it. This mentor says feelings are like rainstorms. There's a beginning, middle, and an end, right? Have the bravery to go right into the storm because it's going to pass. It's going to pass. If you don't clear all that low vibe, negative energy that you're feeling because of whatever is happening, it's going to go into this hurt well. And the hurt well for me, speaking about the hurt well, is your subconscious mind. And it stays there and it locks in there and then it brews. And then you go along and you've got the suppressed anger and sadness and all these feelings that are blocking you from your genuine creative self, your loving person that you're meant to be. We're not meant to be locked up creatures of anger and hate and all that. We're meant to love one another and have fun and be happy and smile. But we do still have our valleys. It's not all smiles and happy. That's going on to the next number 4. But primarily why people don't excel in life, and this is what I teach, is because of what's called a paradigm, which is that hurt well. It's the subconscious, the bigger part of the iceberg. That's what's running the show. And if you make it a habit to go right into your feelings when you're feeling something, you will reduce the stickiness, I guess, of that feeling to linger on and then surface again. That'll control the show. So you go through a bad relationship, and we've probably all done that. And we are hurt by it in some way. And then we carry on that feeling to our next relationship. And maybe our new person, our new partner is trying to love us in a certain way, but we're like, well, that's not, first of all, fair to them. But we've lingered and we've hung on to something in our past that is now surfacing. We're bringing it out of that hurt well because it's part of our heart. And we're like, you're not going to go there because I'm not going to let you. And that's not fair. And then we wonder why then that relationship starts to become stressed because we've brought something up from the past. And that's another thing he said is hysterical equals historical. I love this part when he said this. He said the bigger the problem, the more hysterical the problem that we have, the feeling is more likely because it's very historic. All of our feelings are already past tense. We felt them because of something that's happened back there, right? So then if we've taken the plunge to poison and we've just put it in there and it's built, well, when it becomes a really big feeling, it's probably because it's something really historical. Probably something from your childhood, maybe something really darn traumatic that you didn't deal with, but it still surfaces, comes around every once in a while, and it has a great deal of power over you now because you never dove into the feeling or knew how to deal with the feeling at the time. Look at me, I'm sounding like a psychologist here today. But this is just great stuff I dive into and I learn, and it really aligns with what how I've been trained and certified as a coach. So I like to pass it on to you. Number four reason, or not reason, number four way to get through tough times is appreciate the season. So this is where I like to say, don't get caught up in the happy race if you're not a candidate. So when you're looking and you're comparing and you're seeing all the wonderful, happy faces and perfect filters and swimsuits and speedos and perfect families and best workouts, and if you're not really in that headspace and that, don't let that make you feel bad. Don't even go there. Appreciate your own season. If you're not really, on the top of the mountain, you're still in the valley, find flowers in the valley. Don't keep looking at the top of the mountain and all the people that are smiling in their Speedos up there. I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying. Just appreciate where you are. You are where you are because that's where you're supposed to be. And so many times we're looking outside of ourselves, wanting to be somewhere else. We're too busy looking outside when we should just be looking inside and saying, I like where I am right now. I'm good. I can find flowers where I am right now. So when you look at some of the greatest legends, Mother Teresa, Oprah, Gabby, Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, JFK, like they didn't, they become the greatest because they weren't at the top of the mountain all the time. Heroes don't, they're not in the sunshine all the time, right? We just see them when they're in the sunshine. And then we compare our worst selves against, you've heard that too, right? You compare your worst self against someone's best day, your worst day. Well, that's not really fair. So it's our own weakness, which is ego, that's always judging ourselves. So if hard times crack that open to receive, then be good with that. Be good with the fact that you might be in a valley right now, but your ego is going to take a licking, and that is good. A bad day for the ego is an awesome day for your soul and your primitive genius. So wear your scars proudly. They're wounds of wisdom. There's ebbs, there's flows. Just appreciate the season you're in. And number 5, final one. We're at 17 minutes. I'm trying to keep these shorter, but that's okay. Embrace the purification. So, whatever is happening, and if you're going through a tough time right now, it's just because some layers are coming off. You're kind of in the shadows. It's okay. Make light of the situation. Maybe humor, only if it's applicable. Just look and really evaluate where you're standing, that perspective thing again, and say, you know what? I must be being purified. Something good's happening here because, man, it sucks right now. Because start looking for the good, because if you're going through bad, there's got to be good. That's a law of the universe. You can count on that. You can take that to the bank. That is not a law that's made by man, so trust it. It will happen. It's like a hide and seek. If you're going through some tough times, look for the good. Say, where is it? Come out wherever you are, because I know right now is not feeling too good. So there's got to be an upside to this. And it, again, will just kind of change your attitude because you're changing your perspective. I know this sounds hard. And when you're in the trenches, it is hard. But your choices are, do you want to wallow in the trenches and just continue living in the trench and being, feeling just like crap? Or you just want to maybe have a few things to leverage you to change your perspective. And if you change your perspective and change your attitude, it actually might just catapult you out of there. And you can take a quantum leap into forward motion instead of just watching the world go by. But if you are in a low, sometimes it's okay to let the world go by and just focus on the present. moment for yourself wherever you are. But looking at, I seen Gabby Bernstein post a couple days ago. The only time you can change someone else is when they are in diapers, which I looked at as, so don't worry about changing anybody else. If you're in a part of your life where it's because of other people and that, the only person you can change and the only person you're in control of is you. So if you want to do something about it, then have a talk with yourself in the mirror, because it's just you and you, right? So if you embrace your hardships with these 5 ways that I just shared from one of my mentors, then, and you look at it as like a process of forging a diamond. We all know that a diamond has to undergo immense pressure. Then it might just make you kind of take your own pressure off yourself and realize, you know what, I must be going to really shine here soon, because life's not so great right now, but that's okay. I can handle this. I can do this. I have a few tools now to help me just get through right now, right today. I'm going to stop comparing myself. I'm going to stop doing this and that. I'm just going to enjoy my season, because another day it's coming. I know it's coming because I'm going to find it. I'm going to look for it, and I'm going to shine. So I'll leave that with you. I hope that I didn't take too much of your time. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate each and every one of you for supporting me and walking with me through this personal development journey. It has been amazing. Talk to you again. Bye.